Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I heard like some water spilling in my basement, so I went down there. I turned off the valve to the water to stop the flooding, and I immediately
It was flooding at that point?
Yes.
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. You want him to pay $628.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, knock my socks off. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. The law talks about something may in fact be true, but can they prove it? And that's what's tough.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. April Banson claims her new house flooded after the defendant inspected it and says his negligence is to blame. Ms. Banson is suing Fred Dauber in the amount of $2,147.80. Mr. Dauber claims he's not responsible for the flood because the problem could have occurred any time after his inspection.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Ms. Banson
Yes, Your Honor.
had a little problem with some pipes.
Yes.
And you feel Mr. Dauber should have to pay for that.
Yes, he should.
Why?
Okay, this is what happened. About 3 years ago, I saved up money off of a teacher's budget, so that's not much, to purchase a home because I was living in an apartment and
You were
it
tired
got
of renting?
Yes,
Good for
tired of
you.
renting.
More and more of America's renting, unfortunately, because housing prices are going through the roof.
Yes.
And you said, but I'm not getting any benefit here, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
So it was time to buy.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I hired Mr. Dauber to come and inspect my home that I was planning to purchase.
This is where you put an offer to purchase this particular
Yes, I put an offer
property.
to purchase the home.
And Mr. Dauber, did you actually go out and do the inspection per her
Yes.
request?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And what, if anything, did you find, sir?
Honestly, we found three things. They were all fairly minor.
Yes.
We found an issue with the gutters being improperly angled. I recommended she change the angle on the gutters to improve drainage.
Yes.
There were some hedges that were up against the exterior lining of the house. I recommended trimming those back. The only other issue I found was the hot and cold faucets in one of the guest bathrooms were swapped.
All right. How long have you been doing this type of work, sir?
I've been working for the company 10 years. It's a
Okay.
family business. My father founded it 20 years ago, and
All
I
right.
became the owner 5 years ago. When
And
he
you
passed away.
realize that when people are making home purchases, it's probably the biggest purchase they make.
We understand
They
that.
don't have the expertise in terms of knowing what it is they're getting ready to get into when they buy a house.
Absolutely.
They are really relying on you and what you tell them so they can then go back to the seller and say, I want this, this, this before I close this deal.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Your situation, out of all the people that you could have used, why did you choose this company, Mr. Dauber's company?
Because when I looked online, his company seemed really reputable and received a lot of great reviews.
Okay. And did you meet with Mr. Dauber directly, or was it someone else that you had contact with?
I met with him directly.
All right. And you actually performed the inspection.
I did.
What
Correct.
was the cost of the inspection?
The inspection was $450.
Okay. And for $450, you gave her a detailed report?
Correct. Yes.
The three things he mentioned, the gutters, the hedges, and the hot and cold, did you take those concerns to the seller?
Yes, I did, and they fixed it.
And they complied with those
Yes.
things? And that's all that you asked for based on the report that Mr. Dauber
Correct.
gave you? All right. The deal closes.
Yes.
You're in the house. Take me from there.
Okay. So I was in the home for 2 months.
Yes, ma'am.
I was using the dishwasher and the washer at the same time, and I heard like some water spilling in my basement, so I went down there. I turned off the valve to the water
Yes.
to stop the flooding, and I
It
immediately
was flooding
called
at that point?
Yes.
How much water are we talking about?
My whole basement was, at least the whole floor was full of water.
Okay. And I take it that caused some damage?
Yes.
And as a result of that, did you have to come out and have someone do repairs in that regard?
Yes. I called the plumber.
Yes.
And he told me that the pipes were corroded. So he came in and he replaced the pipes with some pipe that's, it's PEX pipe. It's a lot cheaper than the,
Galvanized?
yes, galvanized.
And the cost to replace that, is that the $2147.80?
Correct.
And you want Mr. Dauber to pay for that?
Correct.
Because you feel like he should have told you that this was something that the seller would have otherwise been obligated to handle.
Yes, I feel that he was really negligent.
Okay. You have proof of the amount of money you spent? If you can show that to Deputy Thomas, and anything else you have, Mr. Dauber, how would you respond to the assertion that you should be the one responsible for the payment?
Well, during my first inspection, I looked at the pipes in the basement and the upstairs. I saw no signs of corrosion. I received the call from Ms. Banson 2 months later. She was very irate on the phone. She was asking my company to pay for this plumbing bill. My response to her was basically that we would be willing to compensate her if she could provide proof to us of this corrosion.
Coming up on America's Court.
How much did you pay for the inspection? You said $450.
$450.
There is a portion of this that you initialed saying that the most you can recover from Mr. Dauber is the cost of the inspection report.
And later.
What I'm just trying to understand is when you spent this $1,577, did you spend that amount to get that result?
Closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of April Banson, who is suing Fred Dauber for professional negligence.
Was there ever a thought that crossed your mind about suing the seller, given that you had only been there for such a short period of time?
No, I placed the blame on him because he was the one who inspected the home, and he told me everything was fine, so I had this sense of security that everything was fine. So
this is the information from the plumber you hired.
yes.
Did you ever take any pictures of the plumbing, how it looked when it burst, or the scene in terms of the water, the damage to the floor?
No,
Why
I did
would
not
you
do that.
Do you have a purse with you or anything?
No, I don't. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Do you normally carry a cell phone?
Sometimes I
Okay.
do. I mean, not all the time. I was just so agitated with the experience that I just didn't think of that.
Well, the reason why I ask is that it's great to take selfies, and it's great to play video games, and it's great to do silly videos. That phone has now become the best way to prove your position on pretty much anything. You say you loan someone some money, and then they come back and say it was a gift. As you're giving them the money, put them on videotape. I am loaning you this $100, and you're going to pay me back, right? Yes, I promise to pay you back the $100 in the loan. Now you got it on videotape. So if you need to sue the person, all I need to see is that person is the same person in that video, and then I can say to this person, you're saying it's a loan, right?
Correct.
If you write a check for something, or you give someone, you take a picture of the check, email yourself at home. That camera is your device for everything.
Correct.
Why do you think I'm telling you that?
Because it's a lesson learned now. I should have taken photos, but I was just so upset about it.
Right. I want you, I want all of you, I want all of you. Think of that phone. First thing, somebody knocks you in the head and or a fight, take out that phone. Use it to protect you. So as soon as you saw that damage, go get that phone. I'm videotaped. This is me in the basement. Look at all this water. I'm going to have to find out what. Take pictures, email yourself. You got a record, and the reason I say email yourself is because that email establishes a date.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Get into that mindset, because you've given me the inspection report. And from what I recall, where is it? I saw it. It says that you are only entitled to the amount of the inspection if, in fact, this is in defect.
But it wasn't my fault. I mean, I
You ignored
still
what I
feel he
just
should-
said. How much did you pay for the inspection? You said
$450.
$450. There is a portion of this that you initialed saying that the most you can recover from Mr. Dauber is the cost of the inspection report. You signed that.
I still feel he should pay that, Your Honor.
Then why did you sign it?
Because like most people, I don't read a lot of things before I signed it. I just feel I trusted him and trusted that everything would be okay. I mean, that I wouldn't have to end up here in
For
court
the
today.
sake of this conversation then, Mr. Dauber, and I take it you put that in there for
Correct.
protection from a liability standpoint.
Correct.
And many home inspectors put that in there. You just have to find one that doesn't, or you go through and go, because oftentimes when I present it with something, someone will say, I need you to sign off liability. I'll go, you obviously don't know what I do. And so I will go through a contract and go, no, an initial. Empower yourself. I got a problem with this. I don't think so. Right?
Right.
Because based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, if this is all you have, what we're left with is the $450 that you would otherwise be entitled to. All I have is a picture of the hot and cold, right?
No, those are the new PEX pipes that he replaced.
I don't have a picture of the old, so how do I even know that it was defective?
I don't know, Your Honor.
You didn't take pictures? You didn't bring me a piece of the pipe, say this is how corroded it was?
No.
How can he not just ignore this?
But who keeps old pipes just lying around?
People who go to court and have to prove their case.
I didn't feel I would have to bring him here because I trusted Mr. Dauber.
I understand that, ma'am. But based on what you provided me, you can't sustain your burden. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
The judge was right. I should have had pictures of that broken pipe. If I ever go to court again, I will have my evidence.
I feel bad about what happened to her pipe. But like the judge said, at the end of the day, as the home inspector, I'm not really responsible.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
What I'm just trying to understand is when you spent this $1,577, did you spend that amount to get that result?
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Pam Swift claims her hardwood floors were damaged because the defendant's in-home workout required them to hit the floor with drumsticks. Ms. Swift is suing Stephanie Fields in the amount of $1,577. Ms. Fields claims the plaintiff just wants new floors and says the participants were instructed to beat on their yoga mats.
Your floor got banged up.
Yeah.
You invited people to come over your house and bang up your floor.
Not to bang up my floor, but to work out.
And well, okay, and what kind of workout is this now?
It's called pounds, and we use drumsticks with the workout.
All right.
So it's very simple and it's very fun. Like we have several movements, and we like shake it around, and we like hit them on the yoga mat.
On the ground.
So it's a very energetic, and there is a lot of different movements, and we stand up, we sit on the floor, and move our arms around, and like using your strength.
And how many people did you invite?
I invited about 20. 15 showed up, though.
Okay, 15 people. And did all 15 have mats?
Not all of them.
Were mats provided for those who didn't have them?
Yes.
All right. You're conducting the class.
Yes.
You're a part of the class.
She asked me to host the class, and so I was hosting the class, and then I was kind of doing it a little bit to try to get everybody, you know, into it.
You were there, though.
Yeah, I was
All
there.
right.
Because
Well, if you are there and you've got hardwood floors and you are seeing people with sticks, you would hear and see sticks hitting hardwood floor versus sticks hitting yoga mat.
Coming up on America's Court.
What I'm just trying to understand is when you spent this $1,577, did you spend that amount to get that result?
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Pam Swift, who is suing Stephanie Fields for property damage.
Did the two of you have a conversation?
Not initially. I just let her know that it was fun. So far, everybody seemed like they enjoyed it, and, you know, we would just see each other the next day.
And then what happened?
Well, I noticed the next morning when I was trying to put all of my furniture back into place that, you know, there were a few marks and scratches here and there, and I assumed they came from the workout. But then there was this one spot that had like a bunch of little marks and everything, and it was very aware that it came from the drumsticks.
What made you very aware it came from the drumsticks?
Because it wasn't there before the class.
Yeah.
I have pictures too.
I want to see. And and this cost, is there something that you can show me to demonstrate
Yeah, there's
the
a cost in there too.
All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
I've been to her house before. It's not a brand new house. It's not like her floor was perfect before we went there. I
No,
cannot
it wasn't
100%
perfect, but-
believe that everything would be perfect before us and all the damage was us. I
Is it
think
just
it's
smooth? Because it looks like, is that the new, or is that the old?
Yeah, that's after. That's the new, and then that's after the workout.
I'm sorry. What I'm just trying to understand is when you spent this $1,577, did you spend that amount to get that result that we're seeing
No,
where it's
I
shiny?
didn't spend it yet. No, this
Your
is
floor is still
yeah.
in the
That's
condition.
what my floor looks like now. I
up
just got
close.
the costs, and I was
Okay, you
asking
haven't
her to help
replaced
me.
the floor yet.
No.
You want to replace it, and you want to have Ms. Fields pay for it because of the damage done to people that you invited to your house to bang on your floor with sticks.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Pam Swift, who is suing Stephanie Fields for property damage.
These people came to your house and banged on your floor,
For her.
and she provided them mats.
Yes.
And sticks.
I get it.
Yeah,
Based on the
maybe the mats didn't stay in the same spot. Maybe that I'm not saying. And I even asked her, okay, well maybe you can go halfway with me on this. You know, we don't whatever. But she just completely avoided me. Like no return phone calls, no responses to text messages. I didn't see her at the gym any longer, and this is where we normally see each other. So I took it like, okay, you're trying to avoid me.
Well,
We've been friends,
Let
and
me
what
ask
is the
you,
problem?
Were you trying to avoid her?
I was not.
Did she call you?
She left a message.
Did you respond to the message?
No.
You were avoiding.
Thank you.
You were
No, what
avoiding her.
happened?
Thank you.
But she, no.
Stop.
Excuse me.
You were avoiding her.
Thank you.
But
No, but you were avoiding her. I understand that you were avoiding her. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down in favor of the defendant. Because the only theory that I can look at here is destruction of property based on a theory of negligence. And I would have to say, well, did she fail to exercise reasonable care? Well, if she provides mats, and these are your friends, and your friends are banging on your floor, that negligence would not extend to her. And you're going to have to pay for that cost if you want it fixed. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
It's unfortunate that I have to pay when I was only trying to help a friend out. Now I have to repair my own floors.
in the end of the day, I was honest the whole time. It was her friends that came over, and I'm happy that the judge saw it was not my fault.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.